Well, I don't know about the viewers, but I'm absolutely eagerly anticipating the start of this race. This is going to be a classic, I can just tell.
Yep, and as it's your commentary debut, Simon, I'm going to let you give us the rundown in the order of the drivers during the formation lap. So take us away, Simon.
Well, starting in P1, we have GT Fan 04. In second, we have Vettel Fan, less than a tenth between them in qualifying. Third place, we have our defending and reigning champion, Vic Mill 11. Fourth is Renfara. Fifth is Sarai. Sixth is Season Stry. Seventh is Speedy. Eighth, making his IFM debut, was Jan Eric. Ninth is Milan Klaus. 10th, Spike. 11th is Weber. Behind him, the Ferrari of Schwiki. Behind him, the Red Bull of Pascal. Followed by FC Bayern Fan. Hardy Edge in the McLaren is P50. Fozzie Bear, P16 after crashing out.
Fozzie Bear! Sorry.
It is a great name, isn't it? It's a fantastic name. Another fantastic name is Epic Scorpion in P17. And Swiss Gamer 2000 will round up the grid.
So I'm sure Epic Scorpion starting back row of the grid with Swiss Gamer. Epic Scorpion will be wanting to inject some venom into the drivers in front of him and score some good points. As we now see the drivers on the back straight and getting all that heat as possible into their tyres. I'm just going to bring up the tyre graphic on my screen. Let's bring it up quickly. So yeah, GT Fan is on the Ultra Softs, and then from second down to 6th place they're all Super Softs. So that's going to be interesting. Only two drivers on the yellow softs, so Speedy and Hardy Edge. Other drivers on the Ultra Softs are Milan Klaus and Spikes. They're both forcing beers on the Ultra Soft tyres. Pascal, FC Blind Fan and Fozzie Bear, they're all on Ultra Softs, and the remaining drivers are on the Super Softs. So, ladies and gentlemen, as the drivers are lining up on the grids, we are about to see 5 lights. The marshals get ready with the green flags, and the drivers sync up for one last time. Hopefully not long. Ticks there on the screen, and we are about to get going here at Montreal. We go red. We've got the red lights on, and we are now go here at Montreal. GT Fan gets a good start off the line. There's a little bit of wheel spin. Vettel Fan slots him right behind him. Vic Mill is absolutely surrounded there by Renfara and Seaston Pryor, but is he going to hold to third place? No, he's not. He's been passed by Renfara, who then touches Seaston Pryor, but now Renfara's falling back down the grid. GT Fan now he pulls away from Vettel Fan. Vic Mill manages to hold on to third. Thank goodness for him. Seaston Pryor is in 4th place. Jan Eric has made an absolute amazing start from 8th place. He's up to 5th, and we've got a virtual safety car already after that carnage at the start from Renfara, as Epic Scorpion remains plumb last, while Hardy Edge has done well. He's up into 5th, he's still in 15th place, so has held position well. Swiss Gamer has gone from 18th to 16th. But yeah, it is virtual safety car for the moment after all that carnage at the start. I mean, well, I say carnage, a bit of a scrap, you could say. But yeah, and good start though right now from Spike. He's gone from 10th up to 6th place in the Force India.
Well, it was an extremely scrappy start, and I also saw that Sarai there actually has got a drive difficulty for jumping the start.
Oh,
so
thank
it's
you.
an absolute disaster for him. Running now down in P8, so he's of course going to have to take that penalty. I don't believe he can take it under the PSC rules, so...
I'm not quite sure now. I know pit stops can be made. We've got green flag though, ladies and gentlemen. We're back going again, as we all got all the drivers there going through the chicane. All going through now, looking very clean. Yep, they are just about, as Renfar is pitted, and so is Epic Scorpion. So now I changed the graphic on your screen from position change to tyres, just so you can see what they change. Although as this game has a reputation for tyre graphic glitches, we're not sure what's going to happen, but GT Fan is pulling away, already a second and a half away from Vettel Fan, who in turn is 1.2 seconds from Vic Mill, but once DRS is available on lap 3, or will it be lap 4 now that we've just had a VSC, I don't know. Seaston Pryor is just behind him, and Jan Eric is now going to have to try and hold off the Force India of Spiker and Milan Klaus in the Taurus behind. Spiker and Milan Klaus on the Ultra Sauce, Jan Eric in front on the Super Sauce, so it'll be interesting to see there what happens with them, and also what happens further back with Sarai, who has to take his drive-through penalty, as he was well spotted there by Simon for jumping the start. I guess the red lights were on for a little bit too long. But yeah, and the drivers going slow there? No, they're not. They're still going at full speed. My apologies. It wasn't late. It was just my eyes. So, yeah, we've got GT Fan shooting off down the road in the Force India so far. As he there gets the fastest lap at the start with a 1:14. Well, no, he doesn't. It's Vicmil who gets the fastest lap with a 1:14.0 in the Red Bull.
Well, it's been somewhat of a disaster at the start there for Renfara, having dropped 13 positions. He's now down in 17th on the soft tyres, dropping from 4th. So I wonder if he maybe lost a front wing or something, or was the cause of that actual virtual safety car. I don't know about you, Ash, but I didn't catch what actually did cause that VSC.
I saw him. Oh, is he spun again? And then he puts in a World Champions, just about saves it there. But yeah, I saw him. He got round the outside, he was on the outside of Vicmil to get alongside him into turn 2 and over the inside, but he braked too late into turn 2 and he ended up spinning the car at the back and took someone else out. And I cut away and was just watching the front runners going through the first chicane of turns 3 and 4, just so I could give everyone a quick rundown of the order. But yeah, for what I saw, Renfara, he went on the inside of Vicmil, he then touched him with his front of his car, ended up spinning, or half spinning at least, and someone ran into the back of him and hit him, which, well, I don't think it was just Epic Scorpion, I think some others may have done as well. But a good start so far for Jan Erik, who is gained 3 places overall. Now he's under attack now from Spike, and Spike is going for a move into turn 1. Yes, he is, he's got the move done, and that's the Force India now starting 10th place, and here on lap 4, he's already up to 5th place, and hoping to get somewhere near his teammate, GT Fan, who is now 2.3 seconds ahead of Vettel Fan. It's going well so far, don't you think, for Force India?
Well, indeed, you can never complain with leading the race and having your teammate in 5th, and he made a really clean overtake there at turn 1. Really cannot complain, but now he's got to pull away from Jan in order to break the DRS, otherwise he may end up slowing him down somewhat. He's now, I think his aim should be to catch Season Spryer before the first pit stop window, otherwise I think he may get away from him.
Yes, indeed, and GT Fan's still doing a good job, but he's also got to try and look after his tyres as much as he can. He did look after his tyres well in the first race, sorry, not the first race season, but the test races here in Canada, he did that very well. So all GT Fan is doing is just trying to get a repeat of what happened there. Although on the pit straight now is Vicmil. Well, he's got the DRS on Vettel Fan, but he's just not close enough for it to make effect, and therefore he remains in 3rd place going into turns 1. Further back, Jan Erik is now under pressure from Milan Klaus, which Jan Erik just goes slightly wide there during turn 2, but no, he manages to stay in front of Toro Rosso. Spike in the Force India is still in his sights, but it is not. But the Force India is not close enough for the Force to feel any frights. Sorry, that was terrible. But yeah, it's now GT Fan 3.2 seconds leading the race as we are now on lap 5 of the Canadian Grand Prix.
I can't believe I've just noticed, but Speedy is actually down in P11, so I think it was him who got caught up with Renfara. So we have 2 extremely strong drivers there running outside the top 10 at the moment. So Speedy, I would assume, would be attempting to plough his way through the field here on the soft tyres. As he lines up Zviki here at the hairpin, he would probably want to get as close as possible here, get a very good exit and open the DRS down towards the chicane. And I think he will be close enough to actually overtake him here.
Just in front, Pascal's about to make a move on Weber. Oh, as he nearly hits the wall there, moving to the outside. But is he going to make this move stick? And there's behind Speedy. Oh, yeah, Speedy's managed to get right outside of Shrieky as well. So that's moves there made. And with Pascal having the DRS and Speedy as well. But now that they're in front of these drivers on the main straight, they can just pull away slightly. As further back now, FC Bayern fans wanting a taste of this action too. He joins the party in his Mercedes, and he's going to put some pressure on Shrieky in the Scuderia in front of him.
Well, it's been a very eventful first 6 laps, hasn't it? As Weber and Speedy are actually going side by side there, but Weber had the inside, so managed to cut Speedy off. Speedy went for the switchback there, but Weber again closing the door as Weber's going to... Speedy, my apologies, is probably going to line him up here and could dive it up the inside perhaps, but it looks like Weber is wary of that and he may just line it up after the hairpin again.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, Speedy here is on the yellow soft tyres and making a good job of it. As just behind, actually, FC Bayern fan lines up for a move on Schwiki going to the hairpin. He does. They touch slightly, but I think he's got him. And, well, it's going to be Schwiki with the DRS going down this back straight here. And they're actually alongside each other, those two, as they go down. Look at this. So it's going to be... Oh, no, they've both got DRS for Ferrari and Mercedes. Interesting. But Speedy now, he's lining up the Williams for a move going into the chicane. Is he going to do it? Is he... Oh, the Williams closes the door. But there's no contact there, which is brilliant. And FC Bayern fan, meanwhile, has managed to get in front of the Mercedes, but now Speedy, yep, he's still alongside Weber going into turn 1, but Weber is defending well, he's defending, but he's not managed to defend the position successfully so far, and that's Speedy in the Renault back up to 9th place. So yeah, the comeback going well and truly well so far for Speedy, you could say. He's made some clean overtakes so far, and it's been a nightmare, a couple of laps there for Schwiki, losing 3 places in only 2 laps.
Well, these things can happen in four-way battles, unfortunately. There have been some very brave moves from Speedy, especially on Schwiki at the chicane. It's very easy to get that wrong. Both cars can end up in the wall.
Oh,
so
Weber! Oh, he nearly hits him. Sorry.
That was very close there, as he had to cut the chicane to avoid contact. But no, it's extremely brave, especially trying to go around the outside on the chicane before the Wall of Champions, because literally you have to have so much trust in your opponent that he will not panic and hit you off, because any contact made there is likely going to result in someone spinning around or losing a wheel by hitting the wall. So very well played there from both drivers.
Absolutely, all drivers there driving brilliantly well, and that's Schwiki. He lost them 3 places and he's gone back down to 12th again, which is where he started this race from. So yeah, he had a good start, and it's just not all gone his way. He's not really made the most of the good start, has he? He's just fallen back. I mean, yeah, the DRS has been his nemesis in this. Yeah, he's used it, but he didn't use it to perfection. He didn't make the most of using it. So not only has he not made the most of a good start, he's not made the most of the DRS that he was given. The drivers in front, and he just wasn't able to challenge. So Pascal, meanwhile, who was briefly involved in that battle, he managed to, well, make the moves, and he's managed to pull away so far. Although he is on the ultra soft tyre, he's already 3.1 seconds ahead of Speedy's Renault. Yet Pascal on the ultra softs, Speedy on the soft tyres, and Pascal is 5.7 seconds behind Milan Klaus and Jan-Eric, who themselves are now battling at the hairpin, and they're about to go down the back straight here. And I think Jan-Eric has just got the DRS here on Milan Klaus. Yes, he will. He's got the DRS, but so has Milan Klaus from the Force India in front. So it's going to be close to these two. These two also on different strategies, but now going into the chicane, it's close. Oh, both of them run over curbs. Yeah, well, that's the end of that battle there for sure. Jumping over the sleeping policeman, although I like to refer to them as sausage rolls, because they just look like sausage rolls, I guess, don't they? But yeah, that's Spike. Spike hitting the Force India. He's in 5th place and managing to avoid those two behind him. And Milan Klaus and Jan-Eric briefly put a halt to this battle. They're all different strategies, so it is crucial here how the first stint goes, I guess, when you're battling someone on track, that is. Jan-Eric now is in fuel saving mode, wants to, I guess, save some fuel to use there so he can use rich mix when he gets on the ultra soft tyres later in the race, assuming he goes that way.
Very wise decision. I think Milan is of equal pace to him, and being on the ultra softs, of course, tyre wear isn't very high on this track.
Sarai's Sarai's about to make a move here on Schwiki. No, he's not. He just stays behind. Sarai has done it. Has took his penalty now, and well, it looks like he's about to take on Schwiki here. Simon, do you want to take us through this one?
Well, he needs to get as good an exit as possible there out of the chicane. He's lined it up perfectly. I think he will go on the inside here. As he does go on the inside, he will open the DRS. Does Schwiki have DRS?
Yes, he does.
However, Sarai has the dominant position here, and I think that should be overtake done. Nice and clean, no dramas. And now he will probably line up FC9 fan as he does line up Weber here, going into turn 1. Weber, though, that's a very, very defensive and aggressive move there from Weber, moving his line after Bayern already pulled out. Very reminiscent of Max Verstappen there in Spa. That could have ended disastrously. Very risky move. Still side by side coming into turns 3 and 4. Weber hit the space, and that will be the end of that. As Bayern fan loses, yes, he lost.
This is a murder for FC Bayern fan on his teammate, and has he got him? Sorry, Sarai on his teammate, and Schwiki gets involved as well. Yep, so it's right on the comeback now, comeback quest after taking the penalty, as Speedy, meanwhile, is on the back of Pascal. So I believe Pascal's made a mistake, he's lost 3 seconds there in the last lap. Here's your next battle, ladies and gentlemen, through the DRS zone. We're certainly having a lot of well, I'll say happiness, sorry. I mean, excitement is the word I'm looking for. We're not watching The Pursuit of Happiness with the Will Smith film. We are watching the Canadian Grand Prix in IFM, as GT Fan has gone into the pits, but right now we just pay attention here to Speedy 2000 and Pascal on the back straight, going in before the pit straight, going in towards the chicane. Nope, he backs out of it to Speedy, very wise of him, but he's now got the second DRS zone here on the pit straight. Is he going to be able to make a move into turn 1? There's a little right kick here, not much difference made there, but where's he going to go? He doesn't go to the inside, he stays behind the Red Bull and just waits again for another opportunity, because as he's on those yellow soft tyres, he doesn't want to cause too much wear, but what he is wanting to do at the same time is cause Pascal more wear on those ultra softs, which I think will be falling down later on in just a couple of laps time, you should say. GT Fan meanwhile has come out the pits and he's right behind the other Renault of Jean-Eric, but he's about to make a move on him here into turn 8, and yeah, he's just done that, and that's a good one there. He's on fresher super soft tyres than Jean-Eric, and that's GT Fan now up into 6th place. Hopefully he can avoid the DRS from Jean-Eric behind him. But GT Fan, yeah, he's not within the DRS zone of Milan Klaus in front, but Milan Klaus neither has a DRS either, so very wise there from GT Fan, just to make a move very cleanly but not waste too much time doing so, and also for Speedy 2000, who we just saw there. But Vettel Fan is now your race leader, and Vicbill is still within a second of him, but just not being able to get close enough and find a way past. And now it's Spike and Milan Klaus are in the pits.
Well, we're getting to the very interesting part of the race here as strategies do begin to overlap, although it's difficult for me to tell what tyres GT Fan is on, because it shows he's on ultra soft, but the graphic says he's on super soft, and I think if I remember he started on the ultras, so I would be surprised if he has chosen another ultra soft.
Yeah, like oh, they got a Ferrari off, season prize off, sorry to interrupt you there, he's gone off, and that allows GT Fan to go through again. So GT Fan is ahead of that, and where is he now in relation? He's only 9 seconds behind Vettel Fan is GT Fan, so what a fantastic drive GT Fan. He had to perform the in-lap and then the out-lap after the pit stop of his life. He is absolutely flying around Montreal here, is GT Fan. I'm really sorry there, but yeah, GT Fan is your man of the race so far, as Fozzie Bear picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
Well, it was definitely a gift there, getting past Season Spryer with that mistake, because he could have held him up quite a lot as he's looking to continue the charge here, just to make sure that when the pit stops have all been made, that he is still in P1. But I think I've got to go out on a limb and say it's GT Fan's race to lose at the moment.
Oh yeah, you can give it that logic, but he's going to be gaining more time on these two in front as we take a look at Vettel Fan and Vicbill. Because those two, yeah, are first and second, and it's basically followed the leader between these two. These two started on the red super soft tyres, different strategy to GT Fan, but I think started on the ultra softs, and of course fresh ultra softs, because there wasn't any dries in qualifying used. The fresh ultra softs from GT Fan worked to perfection, don't you think?
Well, they did, although it could have backfired if he maybe got jumped at the start and then got held up. Then it could have been a wasted stint, but...
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Luckily for him, he got a very good start. There was a bit of chaos behind him, which held everyone up. The VSC kind of helped settle everyone's nerves a little bit as we went back underway. And realistically, with Vettel Fan, Vicbill and GT Fan being very close on pace, as shown in qualifying, I think it was inevitable that GT Fan at that point was going to run away, being on the other side, would have catch up at that point in time. And fortunately for him, as he's made his pit stops, he's been in clear air pretty much the whole time. So I think Vic Mill, he really needs to, if he's going to win this race, I think he needs to get a move on and get past Vettel Fan here, although he doesn't seem to be closing when he is opening DRS, so I think he's maybe running a bit more wing than Vettel Fan. So it's going to be very challenging for him here. If I was him, I would be looking at the undercut here.
Yeah, Vettel Fan, your race leader in a Haas, ladies and gentlemen. It does seem, when you look at the timings, that Vic Mill is closing in on Vettel Fan during the first and middle sectors, but then when it comes to the third sector, yes, you're right. Vettel Fan must have a lower downforce setup, because he just, you know, Villeneuve just can't seem to find a way past the Haas in front, and that would be really frustrating for the Red Bull, considering he'll be aware of how close GT Fan is behind him. He's now already 5.4 seconds off these two. Although, is this a move for Villeneuve? It's a bit closer than he was before, but no, it's still followed the leader again, as we now come round to start lap 15 of 35 here at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. Villeneuve with the DRS once again. He's holding back, but I think at some point he's going to have to make a lunge, although GT Fan now just got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Yes, we saw him cut corners in qualifying in the race. He's not the time to be doing it. And, yeah, Villeneuve there. I think he's just going to have to go for a lunge or something and hope he can get away with it, because he cannot afford to be stuck behind this Haas for much longer, because not only is he losing time to GT Fan behind, he's also losing time to everyone else further back, and they'll be coming out in traffic after they pit, and the plan will just have gone pear-shaped for these two, because some of the others further behind have already pitted. And when we have a look, the highest one behind GT Fan that's pitted is Spike in 7th. And yes, if these two keep it up, they'll end up close to him. They'll end up close to Spiker, that's for sure.
Well, I think Villeneuve's going to have to make a call here. I think if he doesn't make a move in the next 5 laps, he really should be going into the pits to get him ultras on. It's very easy track on tyre wear is Montreal, so as Vettel actually jumps in the pits. Interesting that he's making the first move there.
We both said interesting.
Yeah. Well, it was very interesting.
Yeah, it certainly is. GT Fan has now crossed the line. Will GT Fan be able to catch Villeneuve here, or will Villeneuve be able to shoot away? Because once Villeneuve got clear track in Brazil last week, he did manage to just pull away from GT Fan in that race. But those two are on the same strategy, and those two are battling wheel to wheel. But this time it's a bit different. I'd say GT Fan right now is in a race of his own, unless Villeneuve could just pull out some stunning laps here. But in all honesty, I don't really see it happening. I think GT Fan is too close now. He's 2.5 seconds off him, and those fresh super soft tyres are working an absolute treat for GT Fan.
It's interesting how Vettel Fan has actually gone onto the soft tyres now. Usually in Montreal, I do believe it is possible to actually one stop with ultras and super soft. So it's interesting how he's actually gone onto the soft tyre here.
We'll see, although he's having a proper battle here with Speedy 2000. Speedy go for the long run in the first stint. Vettel Fan has made the move there up into 4th place. Speedy, though, however, will have the DRS, and he's got something to say about this. He's going to be like, nope, I want to race with you, boy. Oh, no, well, hang on, no, he hasn't. Vettel Fan's the one with the DRS. I wasn't expecting that.
I think
the gap just opening there. Villeneuve, yeah, he's in the pits. I see Jean-Eric as well. So that's GT Fan off into the distance, you could say.
Yep, it's absolutely his race to lose now. I can't see anybody closing him down unless he makes a mistake, or we get a safety car, or maybe a change of weather conditions. But I can't see that now with everyone appearing to go onto longer life tyres.
Yeah, well, one thing that just made me wonder, makes me wonder is, Vettel Fan, he wouldn't have been aware, would he, of GT Fan's tyre compounds when GT Fan pitted? He wouldn't have been aware of that. So, but if Vettel Fan was aware, would he have took the yellow soft tyres? Because he's already 13 seconds down on GT Fan. GT Fan took the softer compound tyres out of the two they picked, in the first stint, and here in the second stint he's also got the softer ones. So I think GT Fan here is going to run the super soft serum now, and then maybe another set of them afterwards. Whereas Vettel Fan is going to have to make these soft tyres last longer, and then probably pick ultra softs, assuming he picks again, which he may not. But yeah, it's all GT Fan's race now. He's just got to keep it clean along the track. I know that Vettel Fan does not outperform those yellow soft tyres.
Well, he's definitely got the clear air to do it, although GT Fan is very good on tyre wear, and I know from personal experience you can actually stretch out an ultra soft, super soft stint for the entire race, so it's not a guarantee that he's going to pit here. But if he does, then we will have an incredible race in our hands, but I can't see Vettel Fan catching GT Fan here, unless GT Fan is going to make another stop.
Absolutely not, and earlier on we saw Zarai get a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. He managed to make the comeback up to about 5th place, and he's just pitted now properly for the yellow soft tyres, and he's ahead of his teammate, who is in the middle of a scrap with Renfara and Pascal. So that was crucial as Zarai got ahead of these three, and he has, as all Pascal, he went for the move there on Zarai. Sorry, no, the move on SC Bayern fan, but he just manages to, well, he just stays behind. SC Bayern fan defending well, but FC Bayern fan now attacking Renfara in front. Oh, puts him in the wall there at the bridge. Savage driving from the Haas. Yeah, and the Haas does not like being hassled. No,
Pascal was actually nearly just launched.
Sorry.
Pascal's nearly launched a lunge up there at the inside of the hairpin at FC Bayern fan. Although, being at the back of a thing like this, it's... my apologies.
No, don't worry, it was me. I was the director. But anyway, we'll see what they're doing now along the pit straight. Still no difference with them. Zarai is just pulling away like he planned to. Currently the fastest lap of the race has come from GT Fan, which is 1:13.2, which is and the second fastest lap has come from, I think, Milan Kors with a 1:13.5. So Milan Kors has got good race pace, but just not ideal. Not leading the race.
Well, as every sector's going by, GT Fan is increasing that lead to Vettel Fan. Vic Miller's actually closed within a second of Vettel Fan now, so he will have the DRS on the next section zone. But he really needs, as I assume there's going to be no more stops for these two now, he has to make a move. Otherwise, GT Fan is going to get a comfortable victory here.
Yeah, indeed.
Fuzzy Bear has crashed coming out of the final chicane.
Oh yes.
On the circuit.
Yeah, and we may end up getting a safety car
it's
here.
in a very dangerous position and not a very recoverable position. So I think that is justified for a safety car. And it looks like he may have hit the wall of champions with his right front missing. So he must have hit it at some speed if he can hit the wall on the right and end up careering off to the left there.
Sorry mate, I'm just getting someone who's constantly invited me to a party, which I'm just like, go away. I don't know, I can't even remember adding him anyway, so I'm just going to tell him to stop because I'm currently working on commentary. Just bear with me a second. Otherwise I'll just block him.
Very interesting here has Hardy Edge is impeding Vic Mill quite a lot there from the hairpin on the run down to the final chicane. It looked like Vic Mill was going to line a move on GT Fan out of the hairpin, but lost a bit of track and stuck behind Hardy Edge and really lost his opportunity there to actually overtake the fan. So I'm sure he will be very frustrated there, the Polish driver.
So I'm just gonna call him. Sorry, we shouldn't have to be dealing with this, should he? You know.
So another retirement there with Epic Scorpion. So.
Oh yeah, he's gone as well.
Starting to drop off now as literally as the race gets longer, concentration starts to fade, and as concentration starts to fade in a street circuit, as you know, one crash, that's it, you're out. Especially with 50% races, concentration and consistency, I would say, is of the utmost importance. Having crashed myself from top 5 position on many occasions in the past, concentration is definitely an aspect that you do need to be successful in league racing. And it is very difficult as the race carries on to maintain such a high level of consistency and concentration.
Yeah, Sweeney's just pitting now. Yeah, there we go. We both saw it. Speedy, what tyres has he taken? He's taken the yellow super soft tyres, and he comes out in 9th place ahead of ST Fan. And finally, guys, I can now get back to. Well, I was going to say get back to commentating. The invites are still coming through from that guy who I just blocked. Pearson. I have no idea who he is because I've not added him or anything. He must have sent so many. It was just game couldn't even keep up. Unless he's just a hacker or something. But I'll try keeping my best. Yeah, GT Fan still your race leader, ladies and gentlemen, and he's now ahead by 17 seconds from Vettel Fan. They're trying to make these soft tyres last the distance, but whilst he's going to be saving these tyres, Simon, he's got to make sure as well that he doesn't leave too big a gap to GT Fan to be able to pit and come out ahead of him. And I think right now he's on course to be leaving that gap and making a big mistake, don't you think?
Well, that's the danger. I mean, 17 seconds is only... GT Fan, if he is going to pit again, it will be, I would say, within the next 5 laps. And 5 laps is definitely enough to actually pull out a gap that will ensure that he will either come out first, or I think he will, at the moment, I think he will probably come out just behind Villeneuve, I think. But with Villeneuve, with running what appears to be a high downforce setup, he just can't get close to Vettel Fan, and of course that means if he is running a high downforce setup and getting held up in the areas of the track where he should be making his gains, it would mean that he's easy pickings for GT Fan should he come out behind him.
Yeah, indeed. Just got to see what's going to happen, eh? Not only has Vettel Fan got to look after those yellow softs, he's got to keep Villeneuve behind, because Villeneuve's right on his case still, you know. And it's, well, not the end of the battle. And I can finally tell you all that the notifications have stopped coming on my screen. I do apologise for that. I'm so thankful that Simon was about tonight, because if not, we'll have had, well, not as much commentary for the last couple of laps. Sorry about that.
That could have been a little awkward.
I know it could, because what happened was just this guy, I'm not going to give away his name, don't want to give him the light of day by doing that, but yeah, he was just getting party invite after party invite after party invite. There's probably at least 50 of those invites just coming through on my screen, was covering up the timing thing on my screen. Luckily they won't show up in the saved footage, which is good, but yeah, just coming through, and then I've actually blocked him. I still probably have to see another 15 of them before, you know, before they eventually all disappeared after I blocked him. So yeah.
Speedy is making very good progress here on his super soft tyres. He's now up into 7th.
Oh,
it's a very good recovery drive from him. He's just passed Schnixel at the run into the penultimate chicane. And he's got Zarai in his sights here.
Yes, he certainly has, Simon. And Speedy, he's back up to where he started the race from now, which is 7th place. So he's made up all the ground, lost by what happened at the start. But it depends now, can he hold on to it for the final 10 laps of this race as we are heading towards now?
Well, he's on fresh rubber, so I think he will want stop him having had, I suppose, maybe the advantage of being able to run the softs at the start of the race after, I believe he pitted, so he could potentially get a top 4 maybe, if he can keep this pace up.
Yeah, he certainly could. Speedy there, one of the race drivers, you know, in this race so far. We'll say in the league, but in this race so far, yeah. Well, the super softs last distance I'm not sure. We'll just have to find out. Yeah, he took the first stint on the softs, but he didn't go as far on them as he would have liked. Luckily, he didn't have to pit after he was hit at the start. You know, his pit stop for the super soft came later on in the race, around the time where he's playing to, but I think a little bit earlier. Anyway, all's looking well then so far for Speedy. But so far, still not looking so good.
GT Fan is coming out of the pits.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I saw the times are coming down. Is he going to be ahead of these ones? He is ahead. GT Fan is ahead of Vettel Fan and Vic Mill. And so now, GT Fan can absolutely fly in that Force India on those fresh, ultra soft tyres. He's ahead of Vettel Fan and Vic Mill, who are both on yellow soft tyres. I think now the only thing that's going to stop GT Fan from winning a race is if either he makes a mistake and goes off and hands the place to them on a plate, or if a safety car comes out and the rest catch up and then they all take him at the end. Or also maybe a mechanical issue that may happen. That's all I can see happening. That'll stop him from winning. GT Fan has been absolutely dominant in this race.
Well, Big Mill has to have seen GT Fan come out ahead there, and he must start to think to himself that it's time to get moving. He's got plus 2 laps of fuel there that he's just not using, which he could definitely utilise down the back straight to actually overtake Vettel Fan, because in his standard mix he doesn't have enough horsepower to actually be able to surpass him here.
I know he's going to have to put it into Rich. I don't know if he was planning to go onto the ultra soft tyre and maybe go on the final sprint towards the end, but if he does, I don't really think that will pay off for him. Because if he pitted now, do you think will he come out 5th place behind Jean-Eric and Milan Kors, and would only have around 8 laps to make the comeback to 3rd again? As Jean-Eric is ahead of Milan because Milan's just pitted. He's coming in the pits now for the ultra softs as well. So Milan Kors, he's going for a sprint to the finish on the ultra softs as well. Where's he going to feed into the race? It's going to be interesting to see. He's going to come out in a 7th place, just ahead of the other Force India, Spike.
Well, Speedy is now caught up to Mr. Rai here, so we may have a battle unfold as GT Fan appears to have the race completely under wraps now, putting out a 4.5 second lead over Vettel Fan already.
Yeah, I think Speedy could well and truly make a move here on the Mercedes as they end up going down the back strip with DRS soon, unless he wants to do it early here into the hairpin, which he might well do. No, he doesn't. He holds back and waits for the DRS. Of course, Tarai has got the harder compound of tyres there. GT Fan's the fastest lap with a 1 minute 11.9, so GT Fan, your fastest man on track. But now Speedy 2000, he's got the DRS, but he's not got the power to get past that Mercedes in front of him. So Tarai is on a good comeback, making up all the ground lost by his penalty. He's in 5th place now. Amazing drive, as we've got another battle here going down the back straight. It's FC Bayern Fan and Schwiesky. We saw these two battling earlier, and they're at it once again. So here we go then, DRS open on the Mercedes AMG Patronas, and he goes past the Ferrari, or does he, of Schwiesky? Yes he does, he just manages to cut in front out, so we've now got Hardy edges out of the race, and parking up after an incident with maybe Pascal, I think, just there. So yeah, that's Hardy edge out, as Seaston flies out as well. Oh, Seaston has smashed into the wall on the pit straight. Now surely that is going to be a safety car, or a VSC at least.
That is very interesting. I don't... Of course, we both missed that, but I don't see how he's hit that wall there, because it's much further along down the pit straight than if he just bounced off the wall of champions and hit the wall on the inside. So maybe he was battling with someone there. Unfortunately, we did miss it, but that has to be a safety car, surely.
I know. I mean, we've got it on the screen now. I think what may have happened is that, really, because if you look further down, I don't know if you could see it there, but his wing was just off where the curb is towards the Wall of Champions. So I think he ran along the Wall of Champions for quite a while, and then eventually came back on track and slammed into the other wall on the opposite side of the track. But yet, weirdly, there's no safety car. So what's... And of course it is on, because we had VSC on earlier, didn't we? So...
Well, 2 retirements on the pit straight, neither of which actually did cause a safety car, so... I'm sure a GT Fan won't have any complaints about that, but...
Oh no, he'll be thinking... This race is mine. He'll be thinking that right now.
Yep.
Milan Klos, 3-second penalty. Milan Klos has a 3-second penalty, but it's not going to make any difference to his position at the moment unless he's got other penalties. Simon, would you mind doing the honours for us and just look and see if there is any penalties? Yeah, see what the penalties are. Because of course I don't want to bring up the pause menu on my screen and take a look at that, as we'll be using my footage to, use for the race director, for the video online.
So we have Speedy, who has 3-second penalty. Jan has a 3-second penalty. Ben Farah had a 3-second penalty. Of course, it's not going to matter much now. GT Fan has another, so GT Fan actually has 6 seconds worth of penalties here, which is interesting.
Oh well.
Jason Spoyer had 3 seconds. Speedy had 3, Hardy had 3, Fozzie Bear 3, Milan Klaus has 3. There's an awful lot of incidents here for a lot of warnings. but it doesn't seem like any of the front runners actually do have penalties.
Apart from GT Fan.
Apart from GT Fan, yes, with significant penalties, which could come into play. I think if a safety car was to happen now, even if he was to keep his position and pull away, I don't see him pulling 6 seconds out.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's 9.9 seconds ahead of Vettel Fan at the moment, so for now, safe. He's safe from those two, and now 10.2 seconds actually. So yeah, it's all getting interesting, and still, Vicville, he's still at 1.85. Oh, here we go. He's now using Reach Mix, and he's waited till the end of the race to try and make a move. But is that the right thing? I don't know, because his tyres are more worn, and I don't think that's the right time to use max power. I think you should use it when they're as fresh as possible, don't you think, Simon?
Absolutely, either as fresh as possible or towards the end of the first stint, when, with the benefit of hindsight and us just spectating the race, we could see that the race was slipping away from him as he. Well, he hit the grass there and looked to be heading on to the wall, but
he did,
a bit of a lag spike, and he's back on track. But no, I think when he looks back at this, he'll see that the race has slipped away from him, because of course he's got to get a podium, which has got to be vital points, but he could, I believe, have won the race if he was a little bit more aggressive in the opening few laps, if he dispatched Vettel Fan quickly.
Yeah, absolutely is. We've now got actually GT Fan. He's going to come round to lap Pascal. He's already lapped Swiss Gamer, so Pascal will be a victim of GT Fan possibly to get lapped. We've now got 4 laps to go here, Simon. Who would you say is your driver of the day? I'm sure you can pick any one of the top 3, but don't forget Jean-Eric here. Spare a thought. Yes, he's under pressure now, as we look on screen there, but from Zarai and Speedy. But on his debut, he's qualified 8th, and he's now running in 4th place. Although he is having to save fuel at the moment, so he's going to have to really defend here from Zarai behind. Oh no, Zarai doesn't get past on that back straight. He's going to wait to the pit straight. Yep, let's see what happens. Oh no, oh, Zarai's hit the wall, nearly. He's just about, and I think he's lost part of his front wing, and the other Renault here, Speedy, he's going to get past the Mercedes. No, he's not. The Mercedes stays in front. Yeah, he just managed to hold off that Renault. The Renault is on different tyre compounds to Zarai. But yeah, it's Jean-Eric still in 4th. But now I'll give you the chance to answer the question, Simon. Sorry. Who would you give driver of the day to?
Well, 2 candidates for me have to be Jean-Eric, absolutely fantastic debut race, but you cannot forget that Speedy was down, I believe, in 18th at one point, and he's fought his way back up to 6th position, which is no easy feat. Without the help of a safety car or a VSC, I think, for me, he would be my nomination for driver of the day.
Zarai as well, he was down in roughly 16th to 18th place because of his drive-through penalty. I know it'd be funny to give a driver of the day to someone who's broke the rules, but if you can make up for it, then you can. We saw Nico Rosberg do that in Singapore 2008, going to pit lane when it was closed, as it used to be a rule there. Just when it was closed during the safety car, but then when the safety car went in, he pulled out a huge gap and managed to come out 3rd. Of course, he was leading the race off before the safety car went in. But yeah, and Rosberg was given driver today in that. But I think Zarai could also be a factor for driver today in this. So I think now, everyone, yeah, this is you're not watching this live, but at the end of this video, or you can just do it now if you want, pause your video and save your driver of the day. I'd say the best ones you could say are GT Fan, Zarai, Speedy, and of course Jean-Eric. I think they're some of the best drivers from this race.
What a race it has been as well. We've had carnage, we've had multiple cat battles with trains of 3 and 4 cars swapping positions, some nice overtakes at very difficult spots. Speaking of nice overtakes, you may get another one here. Zarai looks to set
right
up
on the back of him now.
for the hairpin.
He's not using Rich Mix though again.
And it looks like Speedy has actually got past Jean-Eric there, so unfortunately Jean-Eric losing out, but he may have DRS. In fact, he doesn't have DRS, so he has lost him massively here.
He certainly has. It's not gone as well as it will hoped, basically, in this race. But Vettel Fan, he's defended absolutely brilliantly, hasn't he?
He has. He's been incredible, although Vicville has always been there. I have not witnessed him actually try to pull a move off, so even if you believe you cannot get move pulled on the driver ahead of you, still, for me, have to sell him some dummies, keep him checking his mirrors, keep an eye on him behind him, because then you can force it into a mistake. Vettel fan is comfortable the entire time, and I cannot see him making a mistake in these next 2 laps.
No, and of course, what a man to defend from as well, the reigning and defending champion, Vic Mill. If I just take a look at the championship now, the championship after this race, it is going to be, will GT Fan be the leader? No, he will not. GT Fan will be on 51 points, Vic Mill will be on 58 points, and Vettel Fan will be on 43 points. So, yep, it will be Vic Mill leading the championship from GT Fan and then Vettel Fan. What a season it is. I mean, I was saying during the last race back in Brazil at the West End, what a great season it's going to be. Having a battle between GT Fan and Vic Mill for the title is what we've wanted to see. And now, after this race, looking at the championship, I'd say that is what we're getting now. Definitely. Two of the most exciting Drivers' League races I've ever seen.
Well, it is, but if you're Vic Mill in this situation, in the last lap, do you eventually go for a lunge or Vettel Fan, or do you?
I think he does, yes.
With the third place?
Absolutely, although we look now at GT Fan just coming through. Yep, we just look now though, GT Fan is coming up to the line now to win the Canadian Grand Prix here in IFM. What a fantastic win, but now we look back towards Vettel Fan and Vic Mill. Is Vic Mill going to go for the move here into the chicane? No, he decides to hold back, but what's the exit going to be like out of the chicane? Nope, Vettel Fan has done it. He's held off Vic Mill all race. Fantastic driving from these two. Vettel Fan comes home second, Vic Mill is third. And now we go a long way back to Sarai, who was 18th and plumb last after about 3 laps of this race due to his drive-through penalty. He's come back and made it up to 4th, but what will any penalties change that? No, they don't. Speedy is in 5th place. No, it's Jan-Eric in 5th place. Speedy's penalties have dropped into 6th. So well done to Jan-Eric for finishing 5th on his debut after starting 8th. Brilliant driving there from the Renault, and also outperforming his teammate as well. But yet, to be fair, Speedy Fan. No, sorry, not Speedy Fan, Speedy 2000. I'm so used to the word fan. What's going on? Speedy was hit down at the start. But yeah, and Milan Kors, Spike for Esteban Fan and Renfara. Their battle ends. And they're rounding off the top 10. Schwiski's got it to lose out on points in 11th. Faber now crossing the line at Williams to finish 12th. What a great race, don't you think, Simon?
Well, certainly an incredible race to make your commentary debut on, and we had it all in that race. We had battles, we had strategy, we had a virtual safety car, people making their way up from the back, and incredible recovery drives. But for me, there's only one deserving winner, having showed dominance in every session in Q1. He was first, Q2, and of course Q3, and the one that counts, GT Fan, your race winner.
Absolutely. He showed the Canadian fans how good he was in the 2 pre-season test races, winning them both and getting pole position in them both. And he's just done the same again when it really mattered here in IFM. Fantastic racing from all drivers, especially GT Fan. He's your race winner, as every driver has got a penalty in this race. This is absolutely insane. It kind of kills it, but I'll just give you the rundown anyway. GT Fan wins from Vettel Fan. Vic Mill, defending champion, is 3rd, rounding off the podium. Then Sarai is 4th. Jan-Eric is 5th on his debut. Speedy 2000 is 6th. Milan Klaus is 7th. Spiker in the other 4 seniors struggled to match his teammate. He's in 8th place, so they did well after starting 10th. Esteban Fan 9th. Renfara 10th. The Williams of Weber ended up 11th. Schwiski is 12th. Pascal 13th. And Swiss Gamer was 14th. Of all those who managed to finish the race, then Seastern, Hardy, Epic Scorpion, and then the other Toro Rosso of it was the other Toro Rosso, Fozzie Bear. They were unable to finish the race and were not classified. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here at Montreal for IFM Round 3 Canadian Grand Prix. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope to see you next time out next week when IFM heads to Europe for the Spanish Grand Prix and round 4 of season 2. It's thanks very much for watching, and goodbye from me, Ash Dawson, and it's also goodbye from Simon.
Take care.
Thanks for watching.
Just